Thank you. We'll convene the Health and Human Services Committee. We have only one resolution to entertain. Is there anyone that wants to be heard on any other matters? Health and Human Services. If not, we'll go right to the resolution. And this is simply a resolution authorizing the county executive to accept a grant, a lead abatement grant. It's one that is done regularly here in the county. I had an opportunity to meet with Debbie Crisali, who runs this program. She's doing an outstanding job. It's good to see that there's a lot of follow-through with respect to test results and visiting the families and the landlords who own houses where there are problems. So she's doing really a good job there. As I mentioned earlier, this is a routine grant that the county receives. And it would do two things. It would authorize the executive to accept this grant, and then simply to accept it on a routine basis as long as the nature of the grant doesn't change. So with that, I'll look for a motion to move this. Thank you. Yes? Pardon?
We need a sponsor in a second.
Okay, Roy. Roy's going to sponsor it?
I'll sponsor.
Okay.
I'll second.
And Bert, a second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Thank you. And a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Bert. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Call the meeting for physical services to order. Any discussion from the floor?
I have something, Chair.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if this is the proper place to bring it up, but got a call from the mayor of Amsterdam and a couple of the council people, and they were curious about our safety officer position. I guess it's going to be a shared position.
Okay.
I didn't know if that would come under the physical services because they kind of work with DPW.
Right. I know
It's
I've...
actually mine.
It's not
gonna be under
personnel?
personnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next week?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Anybody else? Okay. Resolution amending the 2014 operating budget for the sanitary sewer district number 1. Could I have a, should we just move that to full board, or is there a sponsor?
Sponsor.
in a second.
Could I have a sponsor?
I'll second.
Barbara? Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? Good. We'll move it to full board. Amendment, a resolution amending the 2014 operating budget for public works. Could I have a sponsor in a second?
I'll sponsor.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? You,
Paul?
Paul?
Yeah, Jerry, I just noticed the resolution online today. I'm not sure which resolution you all have in front of you. The first line, it's a revenue line, shared services. What you guys are looking at, is that a $72,000 number or $91,000?
72.
72.
Yeah, what had happened was initially.
I like the 91.
resolution was submitted. It was submitted by an email, and then it was done electronically under the new system. and there was a revision in between. And actually, I just noticed it today, so it's just handwritten on there.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I'm good with these numbers.
Okay. Everybody content? You want to discuss it more, or? Take a couple more minutes? So basically, Paul, you're just moving money within your budget, correct?
Yeah, this was revenue that we earned by doing work in the Scary Creek through the ESD grant. And what this does is it takes the money and puts it back into my operating budget.
Okay. Is everybody in favor?
I am.
Move the full board.
Move it to the full board. Very good. Okay. Now, under other, just a couple things about this chambers. I know Cheryl and Jackie were going to look at their new digs here, and then let me know what they wanted to do, and then we're going to do finish the carpeting with the other rooms. By Thanksgiving, I was told that Data would have everything wired here. So maybe hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be in here. So we'll see. And also on the capital project side, we are looking at moving forward with a building project. And we'll take it from there. We're still in the preliminary stage, so I don't really want to get involved with it too much, but we are working on it. Anything else, Matt, you want to add? Or?
No, I think you're
Yeah.
right. You know, we're certainly working towards that first project, as well as I think we're close to the end of our capital planning, which has gone really well.
Yeah.
That's
So.
good news to report.
Right. So hopefully we'll have more news to report later. So anybody else? Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Terry, Joe, what's the second on that resolution?
Yes.
Yes.
I'd like to call the Economic Development and Planning Committee to order. Discussion?
This Chairman Kelly. I've been hit with some questions from my constituents, basically about the casino and what happened with the application, and two, if there's anything that's going to happen with that property over in the town of Florida. Do we maybe possibly have some future plans as a business park? Can we ask Matt to?
Sure. Well, I think, we've explained it a number of times, but I think there's certainly some people are disappointed and they're wondering what happened, that maybe didn't follow the process. Terry, what I've been saying to folks that ask me the same exact question is, we were at a point where it was no application, or we submit an incomplete application, hoping that we would have a chance to get some more time to finish the application. The series of events that led up to that June 30th deadline was one in which we certainly did everything we could on the municipal side, the public side, from the county, the city, and the town. There was just a number of hurdles that were in the way, and we conquered them. We kept plugging away, but time was just not on our side. That was the one variable that really was a challenge, and it was a situation where we give up, send the team packing, or try to encourage them to at least get something in with the hope that possibly they would give us some extra time because of the strength of the project. We all know that did not happen, but I'm very pleased with the way, the one silver lining I take out of it is how well everyone worked together to try to make it happen. Certainly, I think we were an underdog from the beginning, but there was a whole series of events that led to why we had an incomplete application. And I don't think it was any fault of any public entity. It was just, you're trying to develop a 500-acre piece of land from scratch with some significant economic barriers that were in the RFA, and it was a challenge. And we went from marketing the site to bringing in Peter Marcel, to bringing in an investor, to bringing in a real estate person, to bringing in a casino operator, to getting plans for the site and trying to get an application ready. And that was a lot of work to get done in a very short period of time. So it's a shame, but we've got to take the positives and move forward. I know there has been certainly a lot of discussion internally about that site, and I think I know I'm currently working on a whole host of economic development initiatives that I'm going to be asking for your support on within the next week or so as we head into the budget process. That includes that site, other sites, and our whole business plan in general. So keep on the lookout in your emails for that. I think with the loss of FGI and what happened with the casino, I think now is the time to really make an investment in economic development. And I'm hoping to have your support with that, and we'll get you the details hopefully shortly. We're trying to tie up some loose ends on our end, and we'll have that to you shortly. But the news is, yes, we're going to continue to work on that site, continue to work on the regional park and other sites in the town of Florida, and whether it be, we have a lot of big issues out there. Also, you got the beach nut site, which we need to start talking about, and there's a whole host of things. But I'm looking to I think together we can take some steps forward to really make some progress here on economic development. So we'll be in touch on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from any of the other legislators? Mr. Isabel?
I was listening to what he was doing, talking about what's going to happen to the casino.
Can you turn your volume down?
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I tell him not to bother me here, so.
Thank you.
I do have a question, but take care of Mr. Quacker.
Are you sure? Since I embarrassed you. I'll let you go first.
That's fine.
I'll let you go first.
The question I have is, where does the blame fall on this thing, or there really isn't blame?
I'm not so sure.
I can't understand how somebody can come in and have so many empty blanks on an application that was so important.
I agree with you. I think if I were to blame, I think the biggest single challenge we faced was the fact that there were not variable rates as it relates to the licensing fee as well as the capital investment within the capital region.
So you're saying they should have treated this different than
I
what
think
you're saying?
that the state, I think, made it very difficult for Montgomery County to compete. I genuinely believe that. When you look at other regions that were, and this is nothing, I mean, we talked about this. When you look at some of the less affluent counties in other regions, they had lower licensing fees, they had lower minimum capital investments. Made it easier for them to get a project off the ground. I saw the market study myself, the same market study that the state was likely using. There was a $90 million annual difference in gaming revenues from our site to Albany County. Yet our team was expected to compete and within the same financial parameters
as someone who has a $90 million head start for a year. That's a challenge. And for those that are in the public and wondering, hey, why was the application so complete? I understand that's tough to wrap your head around. But there were times where we were just keeping them interested and keeping them engaged. And really, my opinion, I was a little surprised by the lack of information there. But my take on it was simply a placeholder. The Gaming Commission representative said it to me myself. If there's no application, there's nothing to talk about. So we encouraged them, and I think by the amount of local support there was, and by the strength of the project, they said, well, why not? And it was all their skin in the game. They were probably close to $2 million into it by the time it got done. You know, we invested some time and energy and blood, sweat, and tears into the project, but the skin in the game was really on the side of the project.
I'm not trying to pass the blame, but
Yeah.
why did they, maybe if they didn't step into it, maybe somebody else would have.
Well,
Maybe
I would've-
they took a slot and
Yeah.
just.
I wish we had 4 or 5 other people competing for that site, but the bottom line was that site was marketed and we had one.
So they were the only people.
They were the only ones that contacted Montgomery County interested in developing that site.
Tom, you had a question?
No, probably more of a comment. I agree with everything that Matt said earlier, and also, just to add to it, trying to be, not a pessimist, but optimistic. We marketed that land for how many months? I mean,
It's been on for years.
No, but I mean, it's out there now. Everybody knows that land is there.
Yeah.
Much more so than they ever did before, and I think that's worth something.
Exactly. I think
People know there's some land out there in Montgomery County, and, well, it may not have been our turn this time, and it may not be with the casino. I think we can't just dismiss that.
And I think also,
And all the hard work that you and everyone else.
I think there's something also to be said for the way the county and both the town and the city all handled ourselves. And I received quite a letter from the development team thanking us for the way we handled ourselves in a professional manner, and that this is the type of situation we want to work in. And I think moving forward, establishing ourselves as they're good people to work with in Montgomery County, and building on those relationships. That stuff is important, and I think we did put a good foot forward there. And that is part of the silver lining that I'm taking out of it. You're not going to hit a home run every time. We didn't get the home run, but we got to, and I said it when I was on the radio. I said we can dwell and whine about it, and that's why I don't even want to say too much about the state. They had their reasons for doing what they did, and nothing's ever going to change that. We just got to move forward in a positive way and build off of some of the good things we could take away. And I think we got one heck of an economic development team. And I think what I'm going to be pushing for moving forward is let's give our team a little more resources, and so we can continue to do this job and try to get some successes here and get this economy turned around.
Absolutely. Alex?
I just wanted to state that I'm 100% in agreement with Matt that the municipalities involved did not drop the ball and did everything they could possibly could. But to address Joe's question, I find it absolutely astonishing that the group that we partnered with could not produce a complete application in time for the June 30th deadline when every single other development group were able to do so, including Howe Caverns, which didn't even put together a team until well after Montgomery County already had. So I just wanted to put that out there, food for thought.
Any other discussion items? All right, moving on. We have 3 resolutions on the agenda for tonight. The first one is resolution authorizing county executive to sign agreement, continuation of CLEO agreement between the County of Montgomery County and the counties of Fulton and Schoharie counties to comply with implementation requirements of the Workforce Investment Act of 1998. Can I get a sponsor?
Sponsor.
Terry? A second?
I'm now on this one.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ryan. Discussion. Anybody? Wishes of the committee, full board? Move to full board? Sorry. All right. The next is a resolution confirming appointments made by the county executive to the Workforce Development Board. Can I get a sponsor?
Sponsor.
Ryan, a second. Terry?
Second.
Discussion. Any? All those,
Just one quick question. I noticed there's a couple non-residents. I guess my same question would hold true here. Does the Workforce Development Board have any governing documents that prevent non-county residents?
Hi, I'm Gail Green. I've met some of you, haven't met newer members since you joined the legislature. The federal law describes the ability of the chief elected officials of the counties to appoint business people to the board from their region. They don't even describe what the region is. We include the region as Fulton, Montgomery, and Schoharie counties. Within that, you are not required to have that person who represents the business be a resident of the county. And because we have, including BeachNut, some really strong companies whose employees live outside the counties, we're encouraging you to look at that, because certainly we have no problems with it. We have nothing in our bylaws against it.
Okay, thank you.
any other questions? All those in favor of moving the full board?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Next is a resolution appointing a member to the Planning Board District Number 4. Can I get a sponsor?
I'll sponsor.
Can I get a second?
I'll
Terry?
second it.
Discussion. District 6?
Over here. I don't have anyone new.
Okay. Any other discussion? Al?
Keith Gazelle is listed as District 8, it should be District 9. I don't know if that means that there's a vacancy in District 8.
I might, when I copied it, I probably missed the one for next month.
Yeah.
I'll fix it.
Chair.
Mine's first.
I'd just like to point out, the original member appointed for District 4 found more work in his initial position as code enforcement officer and decided to step back. The gentleman, Mr. David Weiner from the town of Charleston, is sort of new to the county, lived here for a couple of years, but has a great educational background, has been involved with some planning experiences in the past, and I think will represent the county well on the planning board. I'd appreciate your support.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of moving the full board?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Under other, there's another resolution that was, that I'd like to entertain. Resolution authorizing the county executive to apply for funding to the New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets to update the Agriculture and Farmland Protection Plan for Montgomery County. Can I get Ryan? Terry? Discussion. Bill, would you like to talk a little bit about this and introduce yourself to those?
Sure. Let me introduce myself. I'm Bill Rohr, I'm the new senior planner. I know some of you folks here, I'm sure the rest of you I'll get to know over time. Our agriculture and farmland protection plan is about 15 years old now, so it's a little bit old. We're always encouraged by ag and markets to update that, and I've had some ongoing discussions with them. I think there's actually three compelling reasons to do it at this point. The first is symbolic. I mean, to the extent that the agricultural economy is a driver in the regional economy, I think it's very important to acknowledge, and by updating the plan, we're doing that. There's two real substantive reasons. I've worked on grants for the last 25 years or so, and the best way to get grant money in from an organization is to get a little planning money from that state agency or that federal agency. Lay out everything in a plan, and then in that plan, you're going to have a number of fundable projects. And when you refer back to the plan that you did for that agency, when you're going after some money for that project, it flows a lot easier. I think the third thing is, and this has to do with the difference of the 1999 plan versus what we're proposing here, which is really to focus on agricultural economic development. I know it's a farmland protection plan, but to the extent that that land remains valuable and productive and farmers remain, producers remain competitive, it keeps everybody in the game and keeps that land protected and so forth. So what this plan will have is a big focus on economic development, some emerging trends, including farm to market, farm to table, a lot of, there's a lot of niche industries within, sub-industries within farming that are emerging and so forth, and we're going to take a look at how we facilitate that.
Any questions for Bill? Terry?
How would you, the state would give you the funding?
There'll be $50,000 that will come to the county, okay? It'll come actually to the county. We'll do this in conjunction with the Montgomery County Ag and Farmland Protection Board. It'll be a very big part of this planning process. We have to match that, okay? Of our match, 80% of our match can be in-kind services, which will largely be my time, okay? And what we're asking is we have to provide 10% or 20% of our match, our $50,000 in cash, so it's a $10,000 cash contribution to the project.
Okay.
Not to exceed 10,000.
Not to exceed 10,000, yes.
My question is about the match. If, I take it if this grant is received, you will be coming back to us for that $10,000 allocation, first. And secondly, my question of in-kind was answered with you saying that you're primarily going to be the driving force.
Yeah, we'll have to come back with that request for the allocation. Correct.
Any other questions? All those in favor of moving to full board?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other?
Yeah, you'll have 2 minutes.
Yes.
I promise I'll only take 2 minutes. I wanted to do two things. Actually, I give a report to each of the boards every year, so I have copies of that for you. But the more important thing tonight, I think, is the fact that fiberglass industries, as you know, is closing. And I want you to have some, okay, thank you very much. I want you to have some answers when people in the community come to you and say, what are you doing? How are we helping these people? Workforce Development Board has a team with the Department of Labor. It's meeting with fiberglass industries this week. We're meeting with the executives to talk about what we can offer their employees. Then the second step we take is we go right to the plant sites. We meet with the employees and we talk about a couple things right now. The first thing is they want to know how do they file for unemployment insurance, because if they don't have money to keep themselves going, they can't look for other jobs. The second thing they usually say is, well, how do I find another job? For some of these folks, they're not going to be able to find another job with the skills they have right now. Some of these folks have worked at that place for 20, 25 years. They're making a good income, but they're making it with yesterday's skills. So the third thing we look at doing is training them, and you'll see with some of the literature going around STEM skills, we train them to take the jobs of today and tomorrow. Now, if it's determined that they're Trade Act eligible, then there is significantly more money for people to go to school. At this point, we're not sure. They say they were impacted by China. That's not our decision to make. That's the federal government's decision to make. If they make that decision, they will have training dollars that surmount the dollars that we have available. If they're not Trade Act eligible, there will still be training dollars available with us at a lesser level, but it'll allow them to do on-the-job training, maybe get some classroom training, so that they're competitive, because without some upgrading of their skills, they're not going to be competitive. So those are the things we're doing. We wanted you to know. And if somebody asks you and you don't have the answer to a question, tell them to call us, because we'll be glad to talk to them. So thank you for your time. I know it's getting late, and thank you for the extra few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Any other items to come before the committee?
No, I'll just say, Roy, have anybody call me about what they contacted you about. Okay?
The safety?
Safety officer, absolutely.
If there isn't anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.